And you're radical. I hope you could see the Ring of Honor at Weber State's football field. Jamie Martin, 10, who's the only one up there, by the way, who's probably about the 80th best player who ever played at this stadium. So Weber State's historic rematch with James Madison is getting ready to go. This is real historic, important video because no journalist will do what they should do, so Kevin Blanche has to do it. So that's the best team in Weber State history. They lost that game at James Madison. I was at Nick's at PB. We watched it down there in Sandy. I hope you're watching it down there. So as you know, I've dedicated the season to Trevian Smith. Now let's talk about why is his name not up there? Not just because he died in a jail cell this year. Let's talk about this. Where the fuck's the Big Sky went him? This corrupt, hardcore corrupt program. Jody Sear, oh my God. Not my words, the NCAA's words. These are not my words. The NCAA called it the most corrupt. I worked with Dr. Handley when we were the #1 school of business in the country. Bruce Handley, 1994. Look it up. Look it up. ESPN rolls in here. Called it the most corrupt football program, losingest program in the country. We were on the committee. You know, I was teaching. We're the #1 school of business. By the way, don't go see the Don Lemon last. They scored last this year. How do you go from first to last? How did they go from last to first? Jay Hill. What a historic turnaround. So let's talk about this. Why is Scott Shields' name not up there? So there's been 3 players in the history of the NCAA at the time he did this, 2009. There'll be a bunch of these guys in there. He was from Springville, local Utah. 4-time Big Sky All-Player. There's only been 3 of them at the time he did it, including Scott Shields. I'll see their names up there. He had a heart attack and stroke at 26 years old. Where was McBride then? Where was Weber State then? Where's the fucking NCAA then? The NCAA shut me down because I couldn't do the games because I'm just the taxpayer of Utah. I'm just the community organizer. I'm just the voice of the Weber State athlete, not athletics, athlete. Who's going to support him? ESPN? The NCAA? No, they exploit him. Where were they then? He had a heart attack and stroke at 26 years old. He got picked up this year at the homeless shelter. Yeah. This is a good Utah white boy from Springville, Utah. Hung himself in a jail cell. Or they hung him. You don't think they'll do that here? This stadium's named Stewart, huh? What about Matthew? So just the fact that he was all Big Sky 4 consecutive years. Only 3 in the history of the Big Sky at the time he did it. The other Scott Shields, who played here. Think about that NFL career. By the way, you know, the great player we have, probably the best player on this team, could be Adam Rodriguez, same high school, who will play in the NFL. So let me set this up and see if I can do this. Where's your fucking crown, Kevin Blanche? Where's your fucking crown? When you're crown king, nothing. By the way, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I've waited for years for somebody to figure this out. So I'm a music nut. So I have a rule on every video I ever do. Whatever music I hear, I use a piece of the lyric. The last song I hear, a piece of the music I hear. So I'm come up here to do this. Battery's going on my iPad. Metallica. I watched Metallica right there on that field. Right there. Mosh pit and all. Not that long ago. Dr. Bruce Handley. Right there. ESPN rolls in. Excuse me. Sports Illustrated rolls in. Doing a piece. This is the most corrupt, losingest program in the country. Bleeding money. You know, $1.5 million maybe. By the way, Gray Bill, they rehire him? Oh, God. Don't even get me going. Jody's, don't even get me going. These exploiting coaches who just abuse players for their own benefit. I'm a big fan of Jay Hills. I'm a huge fan of him. I call him the snowball. Bruce Handley, who donated his brain to the NCAA Foundation. I spoke at his wake this year. He passed away this year. Hall of Famer. Where's his? Up there. Talk about a freaking all-American football player. One of Sharks' boys. The Sharks' boy. Dr. Handley, who I worked with when we were in the #1 school business in the country. What's the chances of this corrupt program turning around? This corruption, this financial quagmire, this nightmare. Don't break your foot, Kevin. A snowball's chancing. Hell. What's my prediction for the game? Do I dare make one? I made one last year, and I said my last game. Remember, I said they win by a kick, Bobby. Remember, we did a seance, a voodoo woman named Phyllis, and I went off on the Bobby Boucher gig. They won on a kick, a block kick in the end zone. You cannot make it up. True freshman, Bobby Boucher. From where? What part of the snake you figured out? I think it's his knee. You ever seen a pair of these, Bobby? You playing that foosball? You ever catch that gorilla escape from the zoo and punch you in the eye? You know, speaking of the drunk cheerleaders in that masterpiece, Kevin Blanch, the hot water boy. I interviewed Jay right here. I still have it. I won't put it up till after the season's over. Big fan of his. What's my prediction? Don't fire this. Don't screw this up, Kev. You know, don't get one chance back here in James Madison. Oh no, they got two. It's New Year's Day. It's 2020, right? Today? Not till 9:19. Mountain Standard. That'll be 7:17. Back there, right? No? That'll be 11:19 back there. They're in the Eastern Time. Where's your crown? Where's your crown? Division 2020? Not yet. 2010. Weber State. That's my prediction. I was at this game. The Waters curse. The next game they should have won. I mean, I can go on and on and on. Don't you dare drop this can. Oh no. What about the tuna? Tuna collapse. Why? How's that tie in? What's that got to do with the Pacific Ocean? The reactors of Fukushima were built by Waters Construction. The Waters curse. Bruce Hanley and I, the Waters School of Business. They go from the #1 school business in the United States, just like these, went from the worst, not my words, the unarguable, the worst wins and losses in 101 years of any college football. The most corrupt. Sex for grades, free. I've dedicated the season to, of course, Bruce, Dr. Hanley. God, he was a mean bastard. God, he was tough. He donated his brain at the end. Whoa, talk about integrity, though, that guy. Snowball's chancing. Trevin Smith. Fuck the NCAA. Fuck the NCAA. Shut me down. Won't let me, you know. I'll say this to all you fuckers around here. Don't like my style? I was here before you got here. I'll be here after you fucking leave. I've been here. I'll tell you how old I am here. How long I've been right here? I shook Bobby Kennedy's hand right before he was fucking murdered. What was that? Need a history lesson? 1968, March 29th. 5 days before he gave the legendary speech that Dr. King had been killed. Go Weber, I love you guys. This is a great program what Jay Hill's done here. Cooley. The catch. Not to be confused with the great legendary finance president, Dr. Cooley. Devon Cooley, Adam Smith, Mortensen Connor. How about our great kickers? Doug, what a kicker. Trey, Tuttle, you know, all these great young players. Proud of what you've done. Amazing what Jay's done. Bobby, you remember when Bobby came in the halftime of the What is Curse Bowl? Yeah, we did a seance here. I had a voodoo woman named Phyllis. We took the curse off. Biggest one in school history so far. You already better with that left. I'll tell you about one other thing. You want to think this would be an upset if they win? Not really. I mean, they're a slight favorite, but I think a lot of people are expecting a great game, just like it was 2 years ago. How about if young Harding, speaking of number 10, who really is a superstar, Jamie Martin was no superstar. He rode the bench his whole career in the NFL. How he's up there. What about Wildcat Morris? What about Scott Shields? Talk about a superstar in the NFL. What about Terrence Smith? I mean, you got to be an NBA. You got to. Of course, Damian Lillard. Of course. How about Jerry Harding over there tonight? They've never won in the history. They go down to BYU tonight. Now that's a player. That's a player. Same number 10. He's a lefty, right? Righty. He can go with both. What about that jump shot? What about that step back? Oh, yeah. Oh, you better not try that one. For Bruce Hanley. Quit being pricks, Weber State. Quit being dicks. Put his name up in the ring. Try. Young Smith. Trevin, right? It's Trevin. I mean, I always pronounce it wrong. Not to be confused with Kevin. 2010 Weber.